Hey guys, welcome back to yet another stream. I was about to say match preview, but I was like, that's not right. This is just a random stream. I'm talking about the Champions League. I'm joined by one of my absolute favorite people, Younes. Thank you so much for joining me. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm really good. I'm really good. No, thank you for having me on. Once again, much appreciated.
Yeah, I mean, so obviously the elephant in the room is the UCL draw. And what some people may not know is that you came on my channel probably like at least a month ago, maybe more. And you said if Chelsea beat Atletico Madrid, I believe that we could go into the final of the Champions League. And I was like, no way is this happening. And now I'm like, oh, maybe he was right.
Who's laughing now? No, honestly, and I mean, to be honest, I didn't foresee this. I mean, this has gone way better than I thought. I had it in my head like, if you beat Atletico, top team, and we did. We completely just swept them aside like it was nothing, and that kind of shocked me. At the same time, didn't, because I can see how well we're playing. But I had it in my head. You make the quarterfinal. At this point, anything's possible. At this point, it takes you getting 2 legs past the quarterfinals, 2 past the semis, you're in the final. It can just work out for you depending on your luck. And that's what I had in my head. But this draw, it's gone so perfectly that I'm starting to think, you know what, maybe this is all just happening again. Maybe we're going on the same journey like 2012. Maybe the stars are aligning. It's just unbelievable. It's unbelievable. What a draw.
I know. Well, because when we drew Atletico Madrid, I was like, this is a tough draw. Like Simeone, he always has something in his back pocket. Atletico are top of La Liga. They're a really good side. And at the time, like Chelsea, I think Thomas Tuchel it was the very start of his reign, or he just had a couple of games under his belt. So I still wasn't feeling like super confident about the direction that I saw Chelsea going in, but they've just been playing really well. I think for me personally, the one thing that I was a little bit worried about, I'm still a teensy bit worried about, is Chelsea's attacking output. What do you think?
Yeah, that's the one area that I think we all recognize we need to fix up, and we need to fix up quick. But regardless of that, we're still getting the job done. And this is what gives me a little bit more confidence that once we do hopefully get something clicking up front, I mean, against Atletico, it was fair play to Kai Havertz, to Ziyech, to Timo Werner, because they did make something work quite well. We had shots and we had chances aside from that, which we weren't really clinical with, but we still stuck 2 past Atletico Madrid. And I think tactically we can make that work in our favor. It wasn't necessarily a game of, despite us having the more chances, it wasn't a game of us really just testing their goalkeeper left, right, and center. It was very a tactical game. It was a very, seize the opportunity kind of game. And we did. We played to a T. So when we make the circumstances of the game work in our favor, sometimes you don't necessarily need to be that clinical. You just take your chances and put them to bed, and that's it. So, yeah, going now into the quarterfinals, I'm really, really buzzing for it. And I think it's really, really winnable. And now I've heard what the Porto manager said. I don't know if you've got the scoop of what he said. I'm offended. Like, I'm like, what? This guy woke up and chose violence. Like, I have no idea why he said what he said.
You kill me. I wasn't sure. I saw it was on one news source, so I was trying to see if other art like magazines or websites had posted about it. I had just seen it on that one source, but I was like, this is personal now. Like, we absolutely need to thrash them. Absolutely.
Big time.
So I kind of want to get your thoughts on the Atletico game, because we haven't had a chance to really talk about it. And it's just, I just want to relive it, honestly, because it was just such a freaking good game. So how did you feel going into this game? Were you confident that Chelsea were going to get past it?
Yes and no. I'll be honest. I mean, yes, I had that faith that, we can get this job done. We're 1-0 up. It's halftime, technically, second leg at home. We got an away goal. I was just worried if we concede one, we're in the mud. Like, if we concede one goal, it's all equal. Momentum is in their favor. They have a good side, some good attackers. And I was just worried that with the lack of scoring that we seem to suffer from, that maybe that could come back to bite us if we do let a few chances go through. But that's the thing. The complete opposite happened. Yes, as I've said, we didn't have that many shots, but we put 2 past them and we didn't let anything through because defensively we were just unbelievably solid. It's given me old school 2004, 2005 sort of vibes. Even statistically, which is crazy, we are technically outperforming that team defensively. It's crazy right now. It's insane. So I was confident, but worried that I just hope we don't concede. And when we scored that first goal with Ziyech, at that point I knew, I was like, we got this. They have to score twice. And we've conceded 2 goals under Thomas Tuchel in like 14 or 15 games or what it is. Yeah. So I was really, really confident at that point.
Yeah. When I saw that Christensen was out, I was like, oh man, just because that back line hadn't played I don't think that, well, perhaps they have Zuma, Azpilicueta, and Rudiger. I don't know if they played together. So I was a little bit nervous about how Zuma would handle being in that midfield or that defense 3. Yeah. But I thought that he played really well. And even the commentators were saying like, oh, they should like try to exploit Zuma because he's like not as comfortable on the ball as the other 2 defenders. But overall, I just thought like I think Chelsea had to like over 75% possession at one point, and it was just really, really impressive. And I think it just says a lot about Thomas Tuchel and what a great tactician he is, going against Simeone and having 3-0 on aggregate. What do you think?
Tactically, it was superb, especially with you could see the first 25-30 minutes. You could see Simeone was kind of trying to be relaxed, trying to be level-headed, trying to keep his, all of his players under, control mentally, and that, we can get it done here. But as the game began to progress, and we could kind of see where it was going, because Atletico, for a big portion of the game, didn't really do anything. And that's where I thought, yeah, you know what? We've got this. And it's almost like it took a little bit of time for Simeone to realize that. It was the last 20 minutes where you really began to see him panicking. Like, he really started to get animated. He brought Suarez off. I was like, what's he doing?
I mean, what's going on?
Yeah, the whole thing. But you could see, because Suarez was completely in Rudiger's pocket. He was nullified completely. He was losing his head. You could see if he kept going, he could possibly get sent off. And he probably brought him off. Yeah, he probably brought him off just for some composure to try and keep everyone level-headed so they can get a goal at least. And they nearly did towards the end, but it was a beautiful tactical performance. He got outclassed by Thomas Tuchel. Absolutely outclassed. Tuchel read him inside out. And it wasn't just a case of defend. It was a case of keep the ball. You keep the ball, they're not going to do anything with it. Which is a different approach to how we've had it under previous managers in the past. Your Mourinho, your Contes. When the results in our favor, we'll happily just be like, okay, you keep the ball, we'll just defend. Yeah. We are defending differently. It's still like we don't want to concede, but we'll keep the ball so we don't concede. And we done that brilliantly, absolutely brilliantly. And our counter-attack was just superb, regardless of who it was, whether it was the main 3 that started or later on with Pulisic and Emerson. The counter-attacks were just blitzing. So beautiful from Thomas Tuchel.
Yeah, and something that I'd like to point out is that Simeone actually I saw it on Spanish TV, so I'm translating from what I heard in Spanish, you guys. Straight from the press here, that Simeone basically said that they just could not beat Chelsea's press, that they would have the ball and Chelsea would just engulf them immediately, and that it was so quick and that they just really couldn't string together anything, which I think is really impressive as well, especially with somebody like Mason Mount, who I was nervous that he wasn't playing, because I think that he usually initiates Chelsea's press, and he's a main force in that, and he wasn't playing. So I think that the team as a whole is pressing together really, really nicely, and it's starting to come together, which is very exciting. So I still have so much that I want to dissect from this game, but I do want to get to some questions here. So someone asks, should we start maintaining consistency in our forwards to create chemistry between them? I think this is a super, super interesting question. What do you think, Younes?
I think there needs to be a level of that. I can understand that Thomas Tuchel is going to be switching it up depending on the opponent. But going forward, I think we need to try and find some consistency, even if it's not going to be every single game where it's the same three. Of course not, or the same forward line. But there needs to be some consistency where we can look at and go, yeah, those lads, they play together. We know it's going to work. And it's difficult. It's difficult because you look at Mason Mount, for example, and how he's playing, you know that he deserves to be in the team. But then when you see Havertz make a comeback like we've seen against Everton and then played decent against Leeds, and we saw his game against Atletico, the comeback of Ziyech that we're now seeing, and Atletico was a big example. Timo Werner's form, despite the lack of goals, but he's contributing really well. It's, what do you do with Giroud? Sometimes you call upon him, sometimes you don't. Tammy's coming back. We'll see if he can try and bolster his way into the team. It's all crazy. Pulisic, Hudson-Odoi, we have so many options, and I think when you depend on the opponent you're facing, sometimes you just have to make those changes. But why fix something that's not broken? So I think to an extent we do need to try and find some level of consistency, and I think hopefully that will build the chemistry for them to score goals. Yeah, I do agree. Like 50% of that is true. We do need to do that.
Yeah, it's a really difficult one, right? Because especially in this condensed fixture schedule, Chelsea are playing a lot more games than they normally would. Still in 3 competitions, FA Cup, Champions League, and the Premier League, still fighting for top 4 as well. So it's really difficult to decide which players you play in any given game, knowing that you need to rotate because you don't want anybody to get injured or to be too tired or fatigued. But you also want these players to start trying to play together, like you said, in order to gain some consistency with each other. Because I do think if you play players together in more or less a similar formation, then they're going to start gaining an understanding and chemistry with one another of, oh, this player is going to try to make this run. And that's something that I've been a little bit frustrated with, I think, as a Chelsea fan, is that sometimes I see Timo Werner making really great runs, but nobody's picking him out. And then vice versa. I remember Tuchel picked out a pass and then nobody got on the end of it because they just weren't thinking about it. It happens a lot with Ziyech as well, that he'll try something and then it just ends up giving the ball away because nobody's like thinking and they don't have that chemistry yet. So it's a really interesting point. I can't say that I know what Thomas Tuchel is going to do, but I do think that the teams that he's been selecting, he's been managing them really well. It seems that the dressing room is really happy too. Yeah. Everybody knows that they're going to have a chance. Everybody knows that he's going to pick based off certain games as well. What did you think about Hakim Ziyech in this match? Because I was surprised that he started, to be honest. I was like, why is Ziyech starting? I understand for the experience, but I just didn't feel like his performances had merited him starting, and I was a little bit nervous about it, but I thought he had a good game. What about you?
Yeah, he had a brilliant game. Absolutely brilliant. And I get why he played. Yeah, I get why he played. I mean, I saw the lineup and I was a little bit surprised. I was like, Ziyech? But I got it because at that stage of the competition, where you're in a last 16 against Atletico, many of these players have not been in that position before, except for Azpilicueta. He's been here since Mourinho. Ziyech is one of them because he made it with Ajax. He's been to a Champions League semi-final. He knows the journey and what it takes. You look at some other players, maybe Kovacic. You could say, the guys that played under Antonio Conte, Kante, Alonso, Rudiger, perhaps, but they never made that stage of the competition with that much pressure. So I think going to experience was necessary. And I got it. When I saw Ziyech on the lineup, I was like, okay, yeah, cool. All right, I can understand, especially if it's new territory for all the lads. We need all the experience we can get. But everyone played an absolute blinder. And now I think that's going to give them a mental boost. I think that's going to help them even more now going into the quarterfinals, the confidence levels, the morale. So, yeah, I think it's a big positive that we managed to beat Atletico in the manner that we did. And Ziyech was a big part of that. Absolutely big part of that. His performance of that compared to what we've seen in the Premier League recently, night and day. And hopefully, especially with the way that he scored that first goal. After that,
I loved
it. You could see that celebration, and then the way that he played afterwards, he was relaxed. He was a lot more composed. You could say he was a lot more chilled. Yeah, it was a big like phew moment, like finally, okay, cool. Now I can chill and play my football and enjoy it. And you could see every time he got the ball, you could see he just knew what he was going to do with it. He was getting past Atletico players for fun at times. He was picking out some really good passes with really good weight on them, which is different to when he's been nervous and his head hasn't been in the game. So it's all confidence. And yeah, I honestly hope like now that game has been his statement of Ziyech is now here. The Ziyech we bought has arrived. Yeah, and the same goes for Kai Havertz. So I'm really happy with Hakim Ziyech, definitely.
Yeah, especially with just like how there started being rumors that Chelsea were going to sell him in the summer. I was like, he's been at the club for less than a year. Like, come on, just at least give him a whole season or two to get used to the Premier League. And not, I understand people who say that he's in his prime, he should adjust quicker. He already has this Champions League experience. But I just feel like it's a really weird season. You're playing so much. You don't have that preseason. He was injured. He's coming in and out of the team. You have a manager change on top of that. And then not only that, I imagine it must be really hard for these players that you don't really get to bond with the team that much because you just go back to your apartment and you're in lockdown, so it's not a normal situation to be adjusting to a new city, a new language, a new team, new players. I imagine it must be really, really difficult. So I can understand why he struggled, and the likes of Kai Havertz and Timo Werner. And I think that, this season we're seeing them starting to get used to each other a little bit, but next season, I think that Chelsea could be one of the strongest teams in the Premier League and maybe in Europe with what we're seeing so far. What do you think?
I think so. And it depends how far we go this season. We'll see what happens because now we can dream, and now things maybe are aligning quite well. You never know. But with that in mind, and Thomas Tuchel and the job that he's doing, and the way that we've been playing, his plan and his project and how he wants to really, work, and the players are all responding really well. If we make that additional signing, which is the one man that I know all of us want, Erling Haaland, if that can happen, next season could be crazy. It really could be crazy, especially with the defensive stability we have in the team. We can sort out that issue of scoring goals, which I think Haaland will come in and do. Then, with a manager that knows what he's doing, clearly, with players all responding well, defensively not letting anything through, and an attack scoring goals, it's perfect.
Yeah.
It's perfect. So, bring it on. Bring on next season because I'm excited for it.
Like they say, defense wins you titles, and Chelsea's defense has really been impeccable recently and really impressed me. So like, how impressed are you with Thomas Tuchel so far this season that Chelsea have not got into a quarterfinal since 2014? He comes in, he's keeping clean sheets, he's winning games. Sometimes we can see that Chelsea of old still not being clinical enough, maybe not scoring enough goals, but still massive achievements so far from him. What do you think?
Huge. He's been the reason. He's been the sole reason as to why we're doing what we're doing. And all credit goes to Thomas Tuchel because he took a team that was, I think, quite fragmented. Loads of different mindsets. We had players that felt pretty much abandoned and thrown to the sides. We had a system that wasn't working. It just felt like we were just, trackling along. And Thomas Tuchel has recognized things so quickly. Had a solution, implemented it, and it's working like a charm. And not just that, he has every single player pretty much on side, bar maybe you could say Tammy Abraham. And we'll see what happens with Tammy. But the entire squad, the buzz right now, how we're playing and the results that we're getting, is just adding on top of each other, And the more that we add on, the more confidence we get, the better we get, and the more it gets better. The fans are now pretty much all on board. I mean, he's united the fan base in the space of like a month and a half. The fan base was unbelievably divided during Frank Lampard's time because it was Frank Lampard. But now with Thomas Tuchel, everyone, including those that wanted Lampard to stay, regardless, everyone's on side now, everyone, and it's all credit to Thomas Tuchel because not just with the players on the pitch, but off the pitch, you could see his attitude, his the way that he talks, his methodologies, the way that he's implementing everything. It's just brilliant, and he's doing it all with a smile on his face. It's great. It's honestly brilliant. So I'm very happy, and he's the sole reason.
Yeah, no, he's been doing an incredible job. And I really liked, I read the other day that I think it was his first day or a couple of days that he had been Chelsea manager, and he pulled Kovacic, Jorginho, and Conte aside, and he said, guys, I need you guys to be the role models for this team. I'm not always going to play, I can't play all three of you at the same time, really, but I'm going to pick you based on who is fit, who I think best suits tactically, and you're all going to get your chances to play, so don't worry about it. Yep. And I think that his man management of the team has just been really, really superb, and we're seeing that he's incorporating plays. Even look at Emerson, Emerson really has not played, but then he goes on to score in the Champions League. It's like, what is happening?
I think that was like his second goal for Chelsea. I'm not sure, something like that.
His first touch of the game. It was a really good goal as well. I was absolutely shocked. Speaking about that goal, how good was Pulisic? I don't think that it gets talked about enough. I gotta support my guy. How good was Pulisic in the lead up to that goal? And also N'Golo Kante's 94th minute run after being on the pitch the entire game. What?
Yeah,
what?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we got to publicize, your compatriot. I think it's only right. Pulisic, yeah, fantastic. That assist. I mean, you could see the game plan was there. It was, really clear to see when the opportunity was there to break. And Pulisic, as direct as he is, which is why I thought he would start. That run itself shows why, in my preview, I had him to start, because I just reckoned it would have been best if we went with someone direct. And I didn't see Ziyech as that direct player. But hey, this is the thing. With Thomas Tuchel, anything works. So that's the thing. But that goal, Pulisic took it with him, done really, really well. Saw two options. Obviously, N'Golo Kante with that incredible run, as we've mentioned. The guy is made of, I don't know, petrol. Or he's just pure oil. I don't know. Like, he's everlasting. He just doesn't stop. So, honestly.
8 seconds it took him. Like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. It's unreal. And especially to do it in the 94th minute is just, he's an engine. He's an absolute engine. But Emerson on the left-hand side was the better option, and Pulisic went to it. So fair play to Pulisic. Great finish. Fresh legs, no pressure, because it was the last minute. I think Emerson knew, if I miss this, it's okay. If I score this, I'm a hero. So yeah. he buried it really, really well. Just a really good overall move.
And did you see how Mendy literally ran the entire pitch to be able to celebrate with the team? Did you see that video?
I think everyone went mental. I love it. Even in the stands, when we saw Jorginho and Mount and Thiago Silva go crazy, that was beautiful to see. It's like, we don't have fans in the stadium. It's like, yeah, it's cool. We got free fans in the stadium. Let them celebrate together. No, that was really, really cool. Really cool.
Yeah, and Tuchel also said that Thiago was still playing such a massive part, giving instructions from the stands as well, which think is really cool. Yeah, what a player. He still has that influence, even though he's not on the pitch, which I think just speaks so highly of him. Yeah. He is incredible and brings such like a fantastic mentality to that Chelsea side. All right, I have been totally neglecting questions, you guys. I'm sorry. So I'll try to get through some. Jason asks, do you think that Timo will find his feet soon?
I think he has. Just he's not scoring goals yet. But in terms of a performance, here's the difference. So we've had strikers in the past. They don't score goals, but they don't play well. And I think Werner, who has, when you look at it statistically, for his first season, it's not been bad. He's on par with Didier's first season when we're looking at it, realistically for what it meant. So we can't just completely write him off. But not just that. Whilst he's not scoring, he's playing well. He's contributing really well. He's linking up really well. He's doing everything that he's meant to do, and he's helping others get into spaces in order to score goals. So I'm totally cool with it. If he's helping to push the team to win, then great. So no, I think Timo, in terms of scoring, needs one good goal. I think just one good goal to get him going, and to get that confidence going. I think as long as he can improve that first touch as well, that will aid him greatly, which is why I'm saying a pre-season. Let's see at the end of the season, let him have a full pre-season. Then we go into next season and hopefully he's ready. Like Havertz and like Ziyech, hopefully they're all like ready to go. They're settled, they're drilled in and hopefully banging in goals.
Yeah, I think I was really hoping that goal against Liverpool was going to be it. And when it got disallowed, I was like, but I said this in my video. I was like, at the end of the day, I hope that Timo thinks about it. Like he got the ball in the back of the net against Liverpool, and the offside really was a bit ridiculous in my opinion. So like I was hoping that would give him more confidence. And like you said, I just feel like sometimes he's overthinking it a little bit. I think he wants to score so badly, and he knows that he wants to score. And he's just like so eager that sometimes he's overthinking it. And sometimes I feel like he just needs to go off of his instinct. And if he just did that, maybe he would score more, but he is assisting. It was a really nice assist as well. I keep watching that. And I was really impressed with the assist for the Ziyech goal in the Champions League. So like you said, his pace is really important as well. So I think that he probably does need like a preseason. It's going to be interesting because I was counting on the players having a proper preseason, but then with the Euros, you just really don't know, do you? I hadn't thought about that.
True. And I think a lot of people have forgotten the Euros because of the circumstance, because of the way that things still are at the moment. I think it's kind of just in the back of people's heads now. It's not even at the forefront. Like, I'm not even thinking of the Euros. And realistically, in this country, at least, when it's the Euros or a big competition, you start to feel the buzz months before. No one's mentioned it. Like, no one's mentioned it at all. So we'll see what happens when it comes to the time. But hopefully he has a good tournament with Germany until fingers crossed they're knocked out because England go on to win it.
I need to for Spain, but I still have like my heart still feels for England as well. Like, being American, we're not in the Euros obviously, but even the World Cup, you never really get that far. So I always have to pick a second team, like a second country to root for. But I think my husband might kill me if I don't root for Spain. So
that's a good point.
So Nick, he doesn't have a question, but he commented, I'm getting 2012 vibes. And I think it's funny because a lot of people are just drawing any possible parallel that they can for 2012. Playing a Portuguese team in the quarterfinal, possibly playing a Spanish team in the semifinal, possibly playing Bayern Munich in the final as well. And then I've seen young manager sacked halfway through the season for a different manager. That was another one. I'm trying to think. Even like people are drawing up stats about the goals that each person had scored. Oh, Olivier Giroud, 44 years old, 6 goals. Same with Didier Drogba. It's pretty mad.
The parallels are crazy. 2021, 2012, to switch the numbers around. Like, there's loads of things. There's loads of things. And it's you can thank Dubois on Twitter for that, because he's got a big thread of just parallels of 2012 and now, and he keeps adding to it. I think he added the latest one, which is the one just mentioned, of a Portuguese team in the quarterfinal. It's the parallels are there. I agree, and I think maybe the stars are starting to align. Although I don't think it'll be Real Madrid in the semi. I think it'll be Liverpool.
Interesting. Even with the way
it'll be Liverpool. And because I think on a continental level, they're still getting the results they need. Recently, they've picked up a little bit of form. They're playing better than they were when they were just losing. But even so, when it comes to Champions League, they step it up a little bit. And I think Real Madrid, who haven't been great this season at all. And the fact that we dispatched off Atletico Madrid in the way we did, and they are La Liga leaders, is a question mark for La Liga as a whole this season. So Real Madrid, no offense, but Real Madrid at the moment, they look, like, especially their last game, good, but not special. And I think Liverpool might have just the expertise home and away to get a job done. But even if we got Liverpool in the semi-final, even that would be incredible because we've got history with Liverpool in semi-finals of the Champions League. And especially 2005, where they knocked us out with a goal that wasn't a goal, the ghost goal, if you remember, and then they went to Istanbul to win the Champions League against AC Milan. If we manage to get Liverpool in the semi-final and deny them to go to Istanbul, and we go instead to win the Champions League in spite of them, that would be the best revenge possible. So bring it on.
Wait. I see that, I hear that, but in my mind, I think, but then what if we lose? What if we lose? Then it's just double down.
Yeah, if we lose, then we hide for a week.
Nervous about that. Yeah, I guess so. I low-key want to be Real Madrid. I just feel like it's written in the stars. I tweeted yesterday. Like, imagine, like, we just have so many players that have gone, like, both ways, like you have Giroud who could score against Benzema, who called him a go-kart. You have Courtois who's in goal. Hazard would probably secretly be rooting for Chelsea. It's just like
he'll be injured. He won't be playing. I'm sure he definitely won't be playing. But yeah, fingers crossed he's rooting for us.
You can play is okay. Yeah, just walk. It's fine. Like nobody's gonna. It's okay. It's okay.
I didn't think of that though. If we play against Courtois, that would be incredible. If we packed out Courtois and got him eliminated, that would feel good.
It would feel really good, wouldn't it? So I would not be popular in Madrid because most people
definitely not.
Friends. Even with Atlético Madrid, like my niece and nephew were so pissed, and I know a lot of people who are Atletico fans, and I was like totally like shooting the piss. I was like so happy that we beat them. But yeah, I think that we could potentially be either team, but I don't know, who would you be more nervous to face?
I'd be more nervous to face Real Madrid personally, because I think I know that we can beat Liverpool. We have just recently. And I believe Thomas Tuchel has the expertise to tactically set us up well over two legs to get a job done at Anfield and at Stamford Bridge. So it's just, the devil compared to the devil you don't. So I reckon Liverpool would be easier for us. Real Madrid, so in that case, we haven't faced Real Madrid since 98, since the Super Cup that we beat them in with Dennis Wise and Zola and Poyet and Di Matteo, and how that happened, I don't know. But that was the last time we played Real Madrid, so it's completely unknown for Chelsea against Real Madrid in recent years anyway. So I'd be more nervous for that.
Yeah, I don't know why Liverpool makes me so nervous. Like I feel like they're going to try to come back with a vengeance since we beat them in the Premier League. But I do think that we have the ability to beat both sides. And this is why this draw is so interesting, because I feel like Chelsea always get the short end of the stick, and they always draw like the most difficult opponents and the most difficult route to the final that you could possibly have. And I was like, it's definitely going to be PSG or Bayern Munich. Definitely. No chance that we get otherwise. So I do think that it's the most favorable route to the fixture really of any team.
Yeah, big time. As I've said, the draws completely worked in our favor. And not just that, against Porto, we play the first leg away. So the second leg at home. And if we make a semi-final, we play the first leg away and the second leg at home. So it's just, it's the most perfect draw you could have asked for. And in the process of that, Man City, Borussia Dortmund, PSG, Bayern Munich, they all have to kill each other. So let them kill each other. And whoever comes out of that completely, bruised up and battered and whatnot, will face in the final. So, honestly, look, I think for now, on a realistic level, we should be focusing on Porto. Porto are no mugs. They're no mugs. They're the easiest out of the teams we could have been drawn against, but it won't be easy. So with the comments that their managers come out with, I think we should take it personally. I think we should hopefully get a job done against them and just, think of Porto at the moment and we can worry about the rest later. But how it's all panning out and how it's all looking, this is the best chance to get a second Champions League trophy since 2012.
It's
Hands
nuts.
down.
It's absolutely nuts.
I can't believe I'm saying that.
Yeah, I know. You asked me at the beginning of the season if I think that Chelsea are going to. I wouldn't even have thought about quarterfinals or semis.
No
honestly,
way.
I wouldn't have even dreamed about it. And now we're talking about potentially being in the final. I'm seeing people buying tickets to Istanbul already.
Oh yeah. And especially Istanbul because it's going to be open. Like I think there's going to be 20 or 25,000 fans at the final. It's Turkey are happy to just start allowing people in, and it's just perfect. It's just all aligning, and this is my thing. Are the stars aligning? Because it feels like it.
It feels like I don't want to get ahead of myself, but it really feels like it, doesn't it?
The fact that Liverpool went on to win everything that they won with no fans. And they had to go through all of that with no support and no celebrating. And now they've come out the other end and they're failing again. Or, they find themselves in the Champions League quarterfinal, fair play. But if they were not to make it, if we were to make it, and we have fans there and we're able to celebrate, it's just, as I've said, it's written for us. It's just lucky. It's lucky.
I wish that it was in Madrid. It was in Madrid like 2 years ago. It was the Tottenham, or was that last year? Tottenham, Liverpool. No, it was before COVID. It was 2 years ago.
2 years ago. 2 years ago.
Liverpool. That was in Madrid. And I actually was in Madrid I don't live in the city. I live outside of the city. But for some reason, I was in the city that day. And I ran into both supporter camps. And it was so cool because I was just walking the streets of Madrid. I started to see a lot of people, and I ran into like their parties, like the Liverpool party and the Tottenham party. I started just talking to people. They're like, "What is this girl on?" She's like just talking randomly. Like I'm not a fan of either team, but it was so cool. So I just imagined like if Chelsea was in Madrid, that would have been perfect. But that's also part of the reason why I want them to draw Madrid in the semis. I think that it would just. I don't think that they'll have any fans in the game, but it would be really freaking cool if they did.
It'd be cool for you as well. You could probably see them. So
yeah, it's like right here. But I don't think you guys can fly, right, for the semis?
It depends. I mean, at the moment, no, but we should be coming out of things quite shortly. So by the time we reach a semi-final, if we do make a semi-final, then it's possible. It's possible, but I don't think there'll be fans. Not at the stadium. Maybe just there in the city, just to follow. But Istanbul is the one where we know fans will be at the stadium. So I think you're going to get a lot of people traveling to Istanbul, not just to get into the game. Even if people can't get into the game, just to go there and be a part of the experience. And just if we win it, just start celebrating in the middle of Istanbul, going crazy. Like. It would be mad. I can't believe we're saying this. I can't believe we're talking about winning it. And it's just.
I called you crazy for saying that Chelsea could get to the Champions League, and now I look like a fool.
Well, as I've said, we've got to get past Porto first. If I'll tell you this, the hype right now is high. There's a lot of hype now because of the draw. If we knock out Porto, and I said this before Atletico, so if we knock out Porto, here's a new stipulation. I truly believe you're going to start getting Chelsea fans going, we're winning this. We're winning this. We're going to win the Champions League. I think it's going to be everyone starting to get onto that vibe if we knock out Porto. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
So when are you buying your ticket to Istanbul? That is the question.
I'm booking tonight. No, I'm kidding. I mean, I don't know. I would love to. To be honest, I'll see what some of the other guys are doing because it's not just going to be me. I'm sure even George, he's in Bali, and even he's like, I might have to book a flight to Istanbul. I've got, people here saying, I think we should be booking flights to Istanbul. So we'll see what happens. We'll see. If it's possible, I think we might get a whole group out there. That would be incredible.
People are booking now because I looked it up. I'm not going to lie. I looked it up. It's about 350 euros for me to fly, which isn't bad.
Yes. It's cheap. It's like £260 here.
Yeah. So it's really not that bad. But if Chelsea play Real Madrid in the semis, viewing in my apartment or like in a terrace in Madrid. Expect you to come to Madrid to watch. Doesn't matter.
Perfect.
But yeah, I think that the chances really are they're getting high. They're getting high. I'm getting hyped.
Yeah.
Don't want to get ahead of myself, like you said, but it really is the best possible scenario for Chelsea. I think that they're going to take that Porto's manager's comments to heart. I think Tuchel is going to be able to outclass him, honestly. Hope so. I usually don't get this confident, but I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it, guys. So
this is the thing. We haven't felt like this. Even 2014, when we were in the Champions League, we made the semi-final, but I don't know. I think maybe it's because of the absence of this part of the competition for so long. We haven't been involved in this conversation for years now. So it might be that. But there's something in the air. There's just something special when you talk about the Champions League now and this quarterfinal and the way that it's all happening and the draw. And it's just all of a sudden everyone is feeling like, oh my God. You know, so yeah, there might be something in the air.
Yeah. When the started playing for the draw, I was like shivers down both of my arms. I was like, God, it's okay, you know, because I just want it so freaking badly for Chelsea. I want it so bad, and I really didn't think that this year would be the year that we got hyped up. Next year, I thought that we could be serious contenders, but this year, I was like, I don't know. So it's just really, really exciting as well. So, Younes, I'm going to put you on the spot. Where do you think Chelsea are going to finish in the Champions League this season?
Oh, my God. you know what? I want to say I'm confident we're reaching the final. I can't say we'll win it because Bayern Munich. And you know what I mean? But
just Bayern Munich.
Forget the rest. Just Bayern Munich. If Bayern Munich somehow get knocked out, it's game on. It's game on for pretty much everyone. So we'll see what happens. But I think Porto, we should be getting past them. We should. Semi-final.
Let's do a knockout game super quickly. I'm totally putting you on the spot, but we can go. It's really quick, just 4 quarterfinal rounds, 2 semifinals, and we can kind of think who Chelsea could potentially face. So easy one, Chelsea versus Porto. We have to say Chelsea, obviously.
I even think, even if I didn't believe, I legit think Chelsea will beat Porto. Fingers crossed. Yeah.
I do as well. Yeah. They did knock out Juventus. It's not going to be easy, but I also think Juventus just haven't had a good season this year. They might not even win the Italian league. So now Liverpool versus Real Madrid could go either way.
It could go either way.
What you think as well? I want to know what you think. There's over 250 of you watching, so let us know.
Liverpool, Madrid. They're 2 teams that somehow just claw a result out of nothing in the Champions League. Despite of form, they just somehow get a job done. So it's going to be interesting to see them play against each other. But my gut is telling me Liverpool will do it. That's my gut. I don't know. Real Madrid can. But I don't know. I might be wrong because Liverpool have been in the mud. But I do think Liverpool will somehow do it.
All right, we'll keep that in mind. Next is City versus Dortmund. It's another interesting one because
I mean, to be honest, as far as I'm concerned, it's Man City versus Haaland. That's how I see it. Like, basically. Basically. Haaland can terrorize that City defense. He can. The City have a quality team. And I think defensively, Dortmund are a bit all over the place. So I'm going to go with Man City.
Yeah, I agree. But I do think that Haaland, like you said, could give them a run for their money. It's going to be really interesting to see how he plays up against them because we could see him in the Premier League next season. And he's being linked with the likes of City and Chelsea as well. If City get Haaland, they're just running the league for the next 5 years. Like it's just jokes at that point. So really hope that Chelsea get him. But I'm going on a tangent, as they say. And then the last one is PSG versus Bayern, which is really interesting because that was the final last year. So it just shows you how quickly things that can change just depending on your luck, on how you go through, you know?
Yeah, big time. But when it comes to this tie, I see Bayern Munich. It's Bayern Munich, surely. I'll be surprised if PSG knock them out. I'll be really surprised. Because Bayern Munich are stacked. Every area of the pitch, they're stacked. PSG are not. And especially now without Thiago Silva, without Thomas Tuchel, and they're heavily reliant on Mbappe. Neymar is still injured. Will he come back in time? Not so sure. Even if he does, will he be at 100%? Doubtful. I think Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich.
Okay, so now we have Chelsea. We didn't decide on Real Madrid or Liverpool. Guys, let me know in the comments if you think Real Madrid or Liverpool. No, sorry. Yeah, Real Madrid or Liverpool
Real Madrid,
are going
Liverpool.
to, because we need to pick for that semifinal. And we're split here. I think Real Madrid. Younes thinks Liverpool. So you have to be the tiebreaker for us and let us know in the comments who you think is going to go through between the two of those teams. And all right, so now in the meantime, while we wait for that, let's do the next semifinal. So we're thinking it's going to be Bayern versus City, which is ridiculous as well.
I mean, cool. Let them kill each other. I'm happy with that. I hope no one makes the final. This is given by default to us. But Man City, Bayern Munich. As much of a top tie that is, I think Bayern Munich knock Man City out.
Yeah,
I think
Man City historically have not done really well in the Champions League for some reason. They've had really good sides, won the Premier League a handful of times in the past couple of years, but their Champions League run really hasn't been anything with a team that good, by that, like, winning the league by so much. I would think that they would have had better run in the Champions League than they have had. And I wonder why that happens, if it's a mentality thing or just the teams that they're playing. I really don't know. But yeah, I agree that's going to be Bayern. People agree with you, Younes. They think Liverpool's going to take it. So we'll go Chelsea. I think everybody agrees with you. This is Younes' channel, by the way. I'm just here.
I've hijacked this.
So Chelsea versus Liverpool in the semis. Gotta be Chelsea.
Yeah.
It has to be Chelsea.
I honestly think if we get Liverpool, we can knock them out. We can knock over two legs, especially because I think at Anfield we can get a job done there, and then at Stamford Bridge we should. So, Liverpool, Chelsea. I see Chelsea knocking Liverpool out.
Do you know? I'm totally bad. I don't know this. Is Van Dijk back yet? Back anytime soon? Is he going to be?
I think he's done. He's done for the season. He's done for the season.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
There's no way. We'll see him next season, 100%.
Yeah, and Alisson has had some mistakes in him recently, so it could be very favorable for Chelsea, especially if things don't click for Liverpool. But I do think they're going to give us a run for our money as well. But I think that Chelsea could get a result against them. Especially if we see by that time, it would be about in a month's time, that the Chelsea attack has a little bit more time together. I think that we could potentially see more Timo Werner, Kai Havertz, and Hakim Ziyech. If they have time to build chemistry, then I think that it could potentially be really lethal, especially because Liverpool probably aren't going to sit back that much. So Chelsea should have a bit more space on the ball, which Hakim Ziyech really likes. Timo Werner can use to get in behind. We could punish them. So I definitely think that it's doable for Chelsea. And then that brings us to a scary Chelsea Bayern Munich final.
I mean, I don't even want to predict that. I don't want to predict that because realistically, you'd say Bayern Munich are winning that.
Yeah.
But the way that I see it is, if the stars are really aligned, just like 2012, history will repeat itself. So it's as simple as that. I can't say if we would beat Bayern Munich or not. It's impossible because realistically, you look at it on paper, Bayern Munich would knock us out. Bayern Munich would beat us. But I just think that it would be a hell of a game. And I think we have a chance. We have a chance. So I can't say. I'm just going to say, look, I hope 2012 repeats itself.
Yeah,
that's it.
The inverse year. So perhaps we'll get lucky. And yeah, you never know. I always love a good underdog. I can't even imagine. I was sweating for the game against Atletico. That was the round of 16. I was nervous the entire day. I went on Premier League today that day, and they're like, I know you're nervous, but like, let's just try to get through this segment. And I was like, just my heart beating. So I can't even imagine what I would be like in a Champions League final, honestly. But it's really, really happy times to be a Chelsea fan, right? I just feel like everything's going pretty well, and hopefully hopefully we can bring carry this over into the league, because the league has been a little bit not so much up and down, but two wins, 3 draws in the last 5 games. So the top 4 really, really, really important for Chelsea to focus on and start finding their form as well. But overall, I think really happy days to be a Chelsea fan, and things are looking really, really good for the future. So
big time, and we'll see what happens now. Obviously, we have the FA Cup to play on Sunday, and then if we make a semi-final there, great. And then it's the international break. So I think it gives a chance for the lads to relax a little bit. For those that do stay back, for those that go on international duty, hopefully no injuries. That's what I'm looking for. And then they can come back and...
International duty.
Huh?
I can't believe they're having international duty.
Yeah, because there's qualifiers that have to be played, which I understand. This was programmed for quite some time, so we knew this was coming. But I know there's some managers that want to try and keep their players if it's possible. Obviously, if you're called up, you're called up. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Hopefully they come back injury-free. And then we go again. The 3 games that we have after that are quite in our favour. West Brom, Palace, and I've forgotten who. West Brom, Palace, and someone else.
I can check really quickly because I think
it's West Ham. I think it's West Ham.
Is it?
I think it's West Ham.
It might be. I'm gonna check.
So we've got. I've got it here. We've got Sheffield United. No. So we've got Sheffield United.
Brighton.
Then we've got West Brom. Then we've got Porto.
Wait, when do we have Sheffield?
Sheffield United on Sunday.
Oh yes, I was looking in the league.
And then
Sheffield.
and then we have the international break, and then we have West Brom, and then we have Porto away. Then Crystal Palace, then Porto at home. So we'll know after that Brighton and then West Ham. So we'll know if we're in the semi-final by that point. So the Premier League games are in our favour, which is cool.
Yeah, it allows. I think those games also allow Chelsea to hopefully rest some players for the Champions League game, because I think Chelsea has such a strong squad, as we know, so those players should be able to beat a team like Newcastle, like a Crystal Palace. We're seeing that we don't really even know the starting 11. There really is no starting 11. It's anybody could potentially be starting, so it could be anybody. But yeah, thank you so much, Younes, for coming on. Honestly, I feel I'm in such a good mood now. I'm so hyped up about Chelsea and the draw, just the future. So thanks so much for coming on.
No problem. No worries at all. I mean, it's always good to be on. But yeah, with this circumstance now, everyone today is just buzzing, absolutely buzzing. So yeah, good vibes. Finally, some really high positive vibes in the house.
So nice. It's so nice. Well, thanks so much again for joining. Guys, if you like this video, please drop it a like. Honestly, helps out so much. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And I'm sure you guys are all already following Younes. Just hit 60K. Massive congrats, by the way. That's so amazing. I'm so happy for you. So yeah, if for some reason you don't subscribe to Younes, he is awesome. He's amazing. So definitely subscribe to him as well. And thanks so much for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. And until next time, I'm out.